Hello, everyone. I am here with my friend Laura DiFranco, who is the president of a local networking group, the Success Champion Network, and she is a publisher doing books specifically for light workers, healers, energy people, which is like so right exactly where I love to be. So always have a good time networking and hanging out with Laura. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to hear more about this business accelerator, but let's start with what is it that you are doing with your business right now?
Oh my gosh, what am I doing with my business right now? Well, we are an award-winning publisher for holistic health and wellness professionals. And I think the most exciting thing in the publishing world right now is we're about to launch our book called Brave Kids: Short Stories to Inspire Our Future World Changers. It's our first kids book collaboration, and we've got authors from all over the world contributing a short story to that book. It's supposed to launch tomorrow on May 2nd. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers that all of the steps get done in the right order and we're a go for tomorrow. But publishing these collaborations has really been my jam and the main thing that goes on around here. And we try to support our authors in the background of what they're doing with their books. And that's what I'm up to the rest of the time, is trying to support their business growth.
Mm-hmm. It must be a complex process to coordinate getting collaborative books out.
You know, I've heard that, but I think we've become masters at it. Me and my team have some pretty darn good project management skills. It does take a lot of time management, project management, cat herding, when you have multiple authors in a project. But so far, so good. That organization and systems and processes behind what we do, it took me a while to get there, but I'm on point now, thank goodness.
Yeah. Oh, that is great. Yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of one of your zones of genius. So it supports your business well.
Well, systems and processes, SOPs, the way that you do everything you do, as you map it out, you get better at it. And certainly I was not good at it in the beginning, but I also wasn't afraid to take action to get the clarity to get me to the place that was much better. So I think, one thing I would say to all of you is don't be afraid to take some action, make a mistake, regroup, and do it better the next time, because that's definitely how I got to the place I am now.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, you started as a healer yourself.
Yep, exactly. I'm a retired physical therapist of 30 years. It's my first career. I started writing and publishing my own stuff back in 2012. So Brave Healer Productions and Brave Kids Books, our children's arm. That company is about 7, almost 8 years old. And so I kind of ran 2 businesses at once. I was doing physical therapy. I was doing this other stuff. And finally in 2020, everyone's going to have a COVID story. I just made the leap and I jumped into this business with my 2 feet and all the rest of me. And it's been going really well.
Was there a catalyst that started you towards writing when you were doing physical therapy?
Yeah. I've been writing since I was a teenager. I've been journaling, poetry writing, and doing all that kind of writing. But then when I became a PT, and especially when I opened up my own business, I wanted to educate people about health and wellness. So I started blogging, and I loved teaching people about the anatomy, about the preventing injuries, feeling better, kind of a holistic way of looking at that, mind, body, soul. So I started to blog, really was it for me. And I love blogging in general because I love writing in general, I guess. But blogging for your business is is such a great way to get your message out there and to help people get to know, love, and trust you as their professional, as their healer, as an educator, as a leader. So yeah, that was how I did it.
And now that you have nailed this process down, your business is humming, you were inspired to take it a step further with helping your authors with their businesses. And that is what the Business Accelerator course is about. What prompted you to start that?
So I guess that was a journey from the beginning of founding Brave Healer Productions. The reason that company even, was put into existence was because I was out there as a physical therapist and with no business training, went ahead and opened my own business and marketed it to the point where that solo practice, private practice, became a six-figure business. But that wasn't because I knew anything about business. I knew what to do. I had any coaches or I had any help. Like it was just, go by the seat of your pants, fly by the seat of your pants, figure it out as you go, make all the mistakes and fail a bunch of times until you figure it out. Yeah. So at the point that I opened up business number 2, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could save people a few mistakes, if I could help nudge them in the right direction, then I'm going to do it. And I started, Business Accelerator actually wasn't Business Accelerator in the beginning. It was something called Intuitive Writing and Speaking for Healers. Okay. And it was a course where I was like trying to get them to write and speak their messages in a more powerful way and a bigger way. Like, hey, publish your stuff, start blogging, get your books written. Like, let's get these messages out there. But then over the course of these 7-8 years, I've learned a thing or two about business, and I've been able to triple my current business in the last 3 years. And so I thought, you know what? They need more than writing and speaking. They need to know these other pieces. And so the Accelerator course really, I tried to put all the pieces I thought were important that I learned along the way.
And you lay them out in like a step-by-step path. Start here. Is this ideal for somebody who has never had a business before or is trying to make a healing business, but they're just like starting from scratch?
I don't think this is the start from scratch course, because I'm not going to tell them how to create their website. I'm not going to tell them, you know what I mean? This is like, you got to have something established and also the desire to take that all to the next level. Then when you come into my world with this course, you're going to learn things that will hopefully help you kind of catapult what's already there onto the next level. But, if you're looking for like, how do I set up my website? How do I set up a business, LLC? This isn't it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but this is mastering your ideal client, figuring out the networking game, how to build your platform, how to promote and market your services in a bigger, better, awesome way. What about exposure and publicity, right? It's like, it's all of those things that I wished somebody had told me right, closer to the beginning of the onset of my business so that I could have laid out that strategy.
Yes, very true. So I think an important question to ask here is, do you have to be an author to take advantage of the Business Accelerator?
Oh, of course not. I have authors and non-authors in there. I think one of the things that I, of course, am going to recommend is that you put your words out in a bigger way to promote your business in some fashion. Some people will never publish a book. Some people will maybe have a really great blog, and that's how they'll educate and entertain their prospective clients and bring them into their world. But no, you don't have to be an author to have a great advantage with that course.
How much hand-holding goes into this course? Is it like, here, I'm handing you the keys to the kingdom? Do they have one-on-one time with you? What kind of guidance is there?
Well, so I ran the Business Accelerator live a couple of times to give a lot more hand holding, but I realized the price point was tough for some people with that extra. So when I created the Evergreen course, I created a DIY version so that you could go through each module, you could learn the lesson, but then you can come into a dedicated Facebook group, tag me with a question, you can email me with questions. I handhold in a support fashion once somebody is going through the steps. And I think that you have to have access to people even when you get a DIY course going because of the questions, but more so the community. So I want people to have a place to come back to ask questions and get support, but also to meet each other. Because then when you're doing it with other people, it's so much more fun, first of all. And you can get support and masterminding from the community and me, and that's the way that I do that.
Yeah, that's great. Bring everybody's expertise together, help each other out.
Yeah, exactly. It's important and it's powerful. There's nothing like a community, and people are so intent on having 1 million followers here and 1 million followers there. But I will tell you that a small, engaged community can be extremely lucrative and sometimes more so than your 1 million followers over there who aren't really engaging much.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Those targeted people. Do you run into this resistance? I find this a lot about the ideal client and the not wanting to narrow yourself down, wanting to speak to everybody. Do you find that a lot with your clients and people coming into the accelerator?
Well, there's a whole module on it for a reason. And when I nailed it in and got super clear that it was holistic health and wellness professionals that I wanted to help, primarily, typically a female and sometimes a male, like when I started getting more and more specific, my business grew faster. And in the beginning, I had massive resistance to this, but when I got over it and figured it out and got super clear, magic started to happen. So of course, as soon as magic happens, you want to tell everybody, hey, don't be afraid to niche your business. And it's I think the thing that everybody is doing because they're too afraid to not get the business, they try to talk to everybody. And as they're talking to everybody, they talk to nobody. So I speak, healers speak, right? I'm a holistic healer. I spent 30 years of my life understanding what it means to heal mind, body, and soul. And I talk to my healers like that. And it's funny because at one point I got some business advice from a pretty powerful influencer. And they were saying, you really need to take the word healer out of everything. And I'm like, nope. I don't need to, and I'm not going to. And, I was pretty unapologetic about who I wanted to serve. And when that happens, all the people will be attracted because you will finally be speaking to them and not in a vague or bland kind of, I don't even know if this is for me kind of way, Yeah,
people know it's for them. They use that word to identify themselves. So then they recognize that when they see that. And you were a big part of helping me to niche down even further because I was trying to niche in that same kind of way. I want to be speaking to the spiritual people, the heart-centered people. And then I started niching even further into book services for those people. So it's really incredibly powerful. The changes that happen when you just niche down and down and down and down and are super, super clear.
And you can have an expertise in your lane that you begin to be known for. So when I think of wanting to have a book funnel, I think of Carolyn, right? And it's not that 1 million other people aren't doing services like that, but because you languaged it in a certain way for me, then that's who I think of. And if you guys can do that, if you can make somebody think of you when it comes to whatever it is that you're offering, well, you win. I mean, that's the whole game, isn't it? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, healers who want to share their words in books, and they want a publisher who gets that writing is a healing process, that publishing is a healing process. That's important to me because I am not every publisher. I'm not like every publisher. I do things differently. I talk differently. I hold a space for their process differently. And I think that's part of how how people got to know what kind of service I give.
Definitely. Yeah. It's not like that fear that you might have approaching a publisher. Like, are they going to change my title? Are they going to change everything about this? Are they going to take out the me from it? And that's a huge fear that people have. And so if they have that message that they know is important to speak in certain words, they know they can come to you and work together on a process to make sure that their heart is still in that book.
Yeah, and you're talking a little bit about the traditional publishing route where people have learned that, gosh, it can take up to a year and a half to even get your book published. It can cost money that you didn't think it could cost, that they then have the rights to changing things like you mentioned. And I think that people have to understand that unless you have a massive platform, a very large email list, or you have a public platform like celebrities or influencers, traditional publishing is looking for the mass market book. It's going to be tough to get the attention of a traditional publisher unless they think your topic and book and idea or whatever can be mass marketed. Now, that's super exciting, fine. Like if I come up with an idea like that and a traditional publisher comes to me, well, hallelujah. But in the meantime, you guys, your words and your beautiful, magical work can be changing lives in the world. Your business can be growing from that book. So don't wait too long for that publishing deal when there are publishers who will honor your process, maintain your voice, help you, get it out there in the way that you envision it. I think that's so important.
Yeah, I think so too. And we're on a little bit of a tangent now, but this was my experience with my novel. Like 15 years ago, I was trying to shop at traditional publishers, but it's a weird, quirky love story. And they were like, we don't know how to market this. And so it was just on and on, waiting for someone to say yes to it until I took the reins. I self-published it. And lo and behold, I had a reader tell me, this book said what I have been trying to say in such a powerful way that I gave it to my therapist to read.
Nice.
So like you said, if your message isn't out there, you're not getting to help those people that really need it.
Yeah. What's that book called, Carolyn?
Oh, goodness. I'm going to embarrass myself. It's called Whole. It's written by Ruth Madison. That's my pen name. Don't tell anybody.
Nice.
But what message would you like to give to somebody who is thinking about this Business Accelerator course? They're on the fence. They're not sure. What do you want them to know?
Oh, my goodness. Business Accelerator, for the price that it's at, which is under $200, is going to be a massive over deliver. I want to spend a minute telling you the story of why it's priced the way it is.
Okay, because that is very low.
I had fellow healer friends come to me to let me know that they had spent in the tens of thousands for business masterminds and business this and business that. And man, I'm like, what? And so what did you get out of that? And I guess long story short is the stories I was hearing weren't good. And like I told you guys before, I went through my course live with the first couple of groups of people. I kind of wanted to do a beta to see what was the information that they wanted, what could I add, how could I make this something that could be really helpful for people, and then not charge an arm and a leg for it. Like, let it be accessible, because I want you to succeed. Again, you have such magical gifts and your work is so important in the world. And do you need to sign up for a $10,000 course or a mastermind to get to the next level? No, you don't. Yeah. And so I think I was a little mad. I was just like, you know what? We need access to this so that we can succeed too, and not have to go into massive debt to get there. So you can tell I'm a little amped up about this topic, but I priced it right, y'all. And I think that you'll be able to at least have a few golden nuggets that will help bring you over to that next level that you were hoping for. And then when you get there, you assess what you need from there. Mm-hmm. You might need another level mastermind. You might need a different kind of business coach or whatever it is. But I wanted to take the people that I knew were at this level that wanted to get to that next step, and I wanted them to be able to do it easily and powerfully and with a community that cares about them.
There is kind of a big gap between the person who is like, I don't even know what kind of business I want to have, and the person who's ready for a $10,000 mastermind. Like, ooh, there's a lot of people kind of falling through the cracks there. So this is a great program for that. I believe it's like 8 modules. It's very in depth. So It's quite incredible how affordable that is.
Yeah, there's 7 great basic modules with an 8th bonus. And right now it's at $197, so less than $200. I aim to over deliver. I also aim to give you a community. So anybody who purchases that course, it can come into the Facebook group with everybody who did the live version and with me, and to have people to talk to and ask questions to. So I think even that community is worth the price of the course alone.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right. Well, the link for more information is in the description. So anybody who's interested can check that out. And do you have any parting tips, a nugget of wisdom you'd like to leave us with?
Oh, the nuggets of wisdom. So I think as it relates to business, I want you to feel not alone. And building my inner circle and community of people was crucial to me on those days where I'm sitting here alone at my computer trying to do the thing like a lot of us are doing, and just feeling like I just want to give it all up and move and sell coconuts on the beach for the rest of my life. So like, I know you guys have bad days like that. I know it can be extremely challenging, but just to remember, walk your walk of awareness and pause and breathe, and then reach out and grab hands, right? The community is going to be your lifeline. Don't forget to create one for your business.
Lovely. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming and speaking with us today.
Oh, thanks, Carolyn. Thanks for giving me the chance to talk about this topic that I love so much. And also thanks for all of the things that you've done for me and my author community to help us sell our books easier. And just, I love the way that you take your brilliance and help us with the tech pieces, because that's the stuff that we don't like, that we aren't good at. And you make it feel so easy and fun. And I know you've just gotten me way more excited about how I can move people into my world with my books. So thank you.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah, I didn't expect to like the tech as much as I did. Like, I'm an author and I like marketing and tech.
It's a miracle.